Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing today? So, today we're going to talk about the number one lesson I learned while being in the room with 100 millionaires or centi-millionaires, right? So, a centi-millionaire, I didn't want to put that in the topic because I know everyone. I'm sorry, in the title, because I know everyone understands $100 million, right? But I'm not sure if everybody understands centi-millionaire, right? Because we know centimeter is in the hundreds, all right? And so whenever we say centi, and actually comes from the French word. Well, I don't know if it's actually from the French word, but the French word for 100 is cent. So centi usually means 100, right? So as you all know, right, I was at an investment conference once, one of many. Okay, there's going to be many, many other conferences. I'm actually headed to another conference in Beverly Hills on hello, Facebook user. I'm actually headed to another investing conference in Beverly Hills on March 3rd through the 5th. Okay, so I'm going to be rubbing shoulders with not just millionaires, deca millionaires, but those who have a net worth of 100 million or more. Okay, and so this past weekend, I was at an investment conference and I learned a lot of different investment strategies. And yes, I'm going to end up sharing them with you all, but I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. So I'm going to give it to you in bite-sized chunks. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of the main themes that I observed, right, from being in the room with people who have a net worth of 100 million or more. Okay. Now, if you are watching this live, go ahead and type in live and where are you watching this from? What city are you from? I am live here from Plantation, Florida. Those of you who don't know where that is, Kat, what is plantation? I don't even know what that means. All right. Are you on somebody's plantation? Listen, is it bad that I actually want to own a plantation? I don't know if that's like an FU to the colonizers, but I actually want to own a plantation. Okay, all right. I do. I want to own like a big farm with like, where we're growing all sorts of things. I want to have like a rocking chair in my backyard. Like I want to go out and have some tea in my backyard and look around and go pick fruits in my backyard. Like I want that. Okay. But no, not yet. Okay. I am in Plantation, Florida, which is close to Fort Lauderdale. Hello, I have someone else who's in Fort Lauderdale, Facebook user. Okay. All right. So and by the way, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and type in replay because you already know. Okay. Now, typically when I go on these lives, right, I have a whole lesson plan. I have like, okay, pause for a story here, ask the audience this questions. I come prepared with my lives. And that's why you guys love them so much. You guys think I think of this stuff on my own? No, I don't. I do think of them on their own, but I don't think of them on the spot. You know what I mean? I come prepared. Okay. And so, hey, Indiana in the house. Hello, Queen. Hello, hello. Right. And so, today I just decided, you know what, Kat, we're not doing a lesson plan. We're not writing notes. We're just going to come on here and talk to you. Okay. Now, who am I and what makes me qualified to even have this conversation with you? I know some of you, I have a feeling I know who Indiana in the house is, even though it says Facebook user, right? Some of you, you've been watching me for years, okay? Some of you have even worked with me, so you already know who I am. But I am expanding my reach, right? I'm reaching new people. So some of you, probably this is your first time ever watching me, and you're like, who is this young lady, this Haitian girl with the locks, right? What makes her qualified to talk to me about 100 millionaires, right? Centi-millionaires. Well, my name is Katiana Carre. I am a certified money coach, wealth strategist, wealth connector. I go by many, many, many names. Okay. I'm going to actually pick one and stick to it. But okay, what is it that I do? Because my title doesn't really matter, right? What matters is how can I help you, right? How can I help you specifically? So what I do is I take first in family 6 or 7 figure earners. So, okay, so here's the problem that I'm solving. There's a lot of you out there. This is you. You are the first in your immediate family to reach that six-figure mark, to reach that 120K a year, that 150K a year, that 250K a year, right? You're the first person to do it. And there is this pressure of knowing what to do with that money, right? Knowing that, hey, I should already know how to invest it. I should already know how to manage it. But that is not the reality. The reality is you're seeing this six figures, but none of it is sticking around. Or you're seeing this six figures and it's just laying dormant in your savings account and it's not really growing, and you have no clue what to do with it. You know that investing is something that you should be doing, because everybody else says you should be investing, but you don't know how to get started. You don't know what's out there. You may know a little bit about stocks. You've probably bought a few stocks here and there. Maybe you've read a book here and there about the stock market. You probably dabbled into some index funds here and there. Maybe bought a few big boy stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Google. Not investment advice, by the way. I'm just giving an example, right? But you don't really know what you're doing, and you haven't really seen the growth, and you hear about these big things like buying commercial real estate, buying businesses, being my own bank, international real estate, buying gold, buying silver. You hear about these things, but they're so overwhelming. You don't know who to trust. This guru saying do that. This guru saying 401ks are evil. And it's so much information out there. You're like, it's too much. I'll get to it later. And then later becomes never. And then you stay in this cycle of, I make six figures, but it doesn't look like I make six figures. I don't feel like I make six figures. Type in a 7 if I'm talking your truth, right? I know I'm talking to somebody in the room, all right? And so the problem that I'm solving is that problem exactly. I come in, right, and I bring you that clarity that you need. Here is exactly what is possible to do with your money, and here's how to actually do it. Type in a 7 if you're with me, all right? I can't be speaking to an empty room now, okay? There's got to be some of you in here, okay? So that is what I do. I demystify the world of wealth building, and I'm not talking about buying a few stocks, opening up your Robinhood. There we go, Sonia and Oceani. There you go, right? I'm not talking about, buying a few stocks on Cash App. I'm not talking about buying a few stocks on Robinhood. I'm not talking about, signing up for Acorn. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about not only am I talking about, my mind is a mile a minute right now. I have so many things I want to say to you, but I need to slow down, okay? I'm not talking about getting a few stocks on Cash App. That's not building wealth, right? I'm talking about buying assets, such as buying an entire building, buying an entire shopping plaza, right? Buying medical offices, buying grocery stores, buying corner stores, investing in businesses, investing into startups. That's the type of wealth that I'm talking about. I'm talking about building a brand that has multiple businesses attached to it. I'm talking about having an estate plan that protects your wealth, building a trust so that you're not bombarded with taxes, right? Having the proper living will, having an estate, I already said estate plan, right? Having a family office, having a team that is managing your wealth. That's what I'm talking about when I demystify the world of investing. Because you can go pick up a book or watch a YouTube video and learn how to press buttons on your Robinhood, but is that building you wealth? Exactly. Right? Okay. So that's what I'm here to do. Hi, Brittany. Hello. So what was the number one lesson that I learned? You guys know I just can't give it all away in the beginning, right? Or maybe I can. Okay. All right. So let me tell you the story of how I ended up in those rooms, and then we will get into the lesson. Okay. So long story short, right? I had one of my best friends and a few of my clients reach out to me, and I told the whole story in an earlier live, so I don't want to keep repeating it. Some of you have already heard it. Some of you're like, you know what, I didn't hear the story. Tell it to me. Okay, so I'm giving you the short version. So a few of my clients, mind you, I've been doing this for quite some time now. So I have like clients who've been with me for years. Okay. And so their stocks are going up, right? Their portfolio. One of my clients told me her portfolio is up 36% last year. Okay. 36%. The market did what? I have to look at what the market did. I think the market did what? 20 something percent. So they were able to beat the market. Okay. So that's the type. Now Let me take that back. Okay. I'm not promising that you're going to beat the market every single year now, but it is definitely possible. Okay. So she did about 36%. I have a client who has a $500,000. She started with 30K. I have another client who's almost at 7 figures. Right. And so now my clients are like, all right, Kat, you helped me get to this point. I trust you and everything that you teach me works. So I don't want to go to nobody else. I need you to show me what's next. And so guess what I had to do? I had to put on my big girl pants on, right? And go back to the wealth management space because remember, why did I stop working at the wealth management firm? The reason why I stopped working at the wealth management firm is because I wasn't able to fully help the people that look like me because they didn't fit a certain criteria, right? If that, I'm trying to be as politically correct, but also kind of telling you the real deal, right? Okay. I was not able to help people that look like me and you because they did not fit the criteria that the firm wanted me to look for. And so I said, F all that, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to help my people. And I'm going to help them get to that, to what the firm would consider viable or what the firm would consider good enough for me to look at you type of thing. And so now that I have done that, right, now they're ready for these big firms to start looking at them because these big firms, right, guys, a big firm like Charles Schwab or, actually I shouldn't be naming anybody because then it look like I'm not downing them, but those big traditional firms, the minimum investment most of the time is $100,000, okay, or $250,000. If you do not have $100,000 in your bank account, ready to be invested. And I'm not talking about your savings because the last thing you want to do is invest your savings. If all you have is $100,000 to your name, you have no business investing all of it. You can invest some of it, but not all of it, because if God forbid there's an emergency of some sort, you want to have something to fall back on because your investments need time for them to work. Okay. So now that I have helped a handful of clients actually reach that. Right? I have clients who now have 100K sitting in the bank. I now have clients who have 250K sitting in the bank. I have those clients now. And so now they don't want to go to the wealth management firm who wouldn't even look at them before then. They wouldn't even look their way. So they don't want to go over there. They want to go to Kat because Kat is who helped them get there. Type in an 8 if that makes sense. Okay. Type in an 8 if that makes sense. And so now they're ready for those advanced strategies. And so I said, you know what? Let me pull out my old tools because I haven't used these tools in a while. Right. Let me pull out my old tools. Okay. I got a couple of 8s. Okay. So let me pull out my old tools that I was using at the wealth management firm, some advanced wealth planning strategies, and let me start exposing them to my clients. And of course, and this is the energetics of wealth. Of course, when you make a decision, God, the universe, source, whatever you believe in, that higher power, when you make a decision, that higher power throws tools at you like, oh, she says she's ready. All right, everyone, throw her tools. And so, of course, as soon as I made the decision that I was going to help my clients who are at 100K and higher and sitting in the bank to help them know what's next, of course, I get invited to a private investing group. Okay. And guess what this private investing group is all about? It's all about working. So this private investing group, there's 2 sides to it. There's the investing part where you can partake in different deals. Okay. So for example, the owner of the investing club, right? He sees different investing opportunities. So for example, let's say he sees that there's a medical office in Plantation, Florida, that's averaging around $3.5 million a year. And they're looking to expand and have a new location. You guys with me? Type in a 9 if you're with me so far. Okay. I'm giving you an example, right? Let's say there is a medical office in Plantation, Florida, that is averaging about $3.5 million every year. Okay. And they want to expand into a new office, a new location. What are they going to need? Talk to me in the chat. If they need a new location, okay, if they need a new location and they want to expand, what are they going to need in order to do this? Talk to me in the chat. Hello there. I got some viewers on YouTube there. Okay. What are they going to need? Talk to me in the chat. I want to hear you guys. If a business wants to expand, okay, Carmel says investors. You're kind of one step ahead, right? They're going to need capital. That's right. Greenhouse Eats. Okay. Yes, from YouTube. Okay. I got some watchers on YouTube. Okay. People are watching me on YouTube. All right, I'm trying something different, something new. Okay, I went live on YouTube. I've never gone live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube people. I've never gone live on YouTube. So this is my first time. So I'm happy that you guys are here. Okay, all right, right. They're going to need cash. They're going to need money. They're going to need supplies. Exactly. And so where can they get this money? Talk to me in the chat. Where can they get this money? And those of you who are just joining us, okay, if an established medical office wants to expand their office and open a new location in a new city, what are they going to need? They're going to need money to do so, right? They're going to need money to do so. And how do they get this money? Talk to me in the chat. Hi, Sharika. Hello. I'm live on so many different platforms. Well, now it shows me where you guys are. You're on Facebook, right? From investors, right? Yes, that's one way. From investors, right? They can get it from investors. They can borrow the money, right? Okay. Or they can use their own money, right? So the three are: they can get it from investors, they can borrow the money, or they can use their own money, their savings. Out of the three, which one, okay? Oh, it shows my YouTube one in there. Look at that. Oh, so it shows the last one. Oh, interesting. Okay, I've never gone live on all of these, okay? All right. Oh, and it wrote it on YouTube. It wrote it from everybody. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm getting geeked out with the tech here. I've never gone live on YouTube because this is cool. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. So investors borrow savings. Exactly. Hi, Misha. Hi, Queen. How are you? Yes. So which one of these three? Sorry, I got caught up in I got excited about this YouTube thing. Okay. So which one of the three do you think would be the best? Okay. Getting it from investors. Put yourself in the shoes. You picture that you own this medical office. You're the owner of the medical office, and your medical office is making about $3.5 million a year. And then you want to open a new location. Would it be best for you to go get the money from investors, from borrowing the money, or saving the money? Misha says investing, right? Carmel says other people's money, OPM. That's right, exactly. Right? Facebook user says investor. Misha said investor. Anybody says borrow the money? Why wouldn't we want to borrow the money? Talk to me in the chat, okay? All right. Okay, Sharika. Oh, I wish this was like a live thing where you could hop on, because then I'd love to hear, okay? Why borrow first, investor second? I'd love to hear it. I don't think I'll be able to wait for you to type all of it, but I'd love to hear it. Let's circle back to that, okay? Cost too much, right? I agree. Okay, when you borrow the money, let's say the medical office takes a long time for it to get up and running. Let's say you were projected to have the medical office up and running within 9 months, but then it takes 18 months. You still have those payments due. That interest is already accruing. You already assigned on the dotted line that you are going to start those payments right away. And so those payments need to be paid, right? Okay. And so, and also when you're adding debt, is that adding assets or is that adding liabilities to your business? Talk to me in the chat, right? Is that adding assets or is that adding liabilities to your balance sheet? It's adding liabilities. Okay. And so we definitely don't want to use our own money. As much as I say this, I'm guilty of this. We use other people's money as much as possible. We don't want to tie up our own money into our businesses, okay? Because when there's an emergency, what happens if you cannot work the business? What happens if the business takes a while to go up? Right? Then now all your money is tied up and you don't have any money for yourself. This is where the ramen noodles and the sleeping on the couch and riding the bus and walking everywhere, this is where that comes in, because I made that mistake and I put all of my money in my business. So definitely we stay away from that as much as possible, okay? Well, Sharika came in and said, well, it depends on the equity. Well, okay, my love, you are, okay, by the way, Sharika is a financial advisor. She has a different understanding of this entire world. Okay, I'm talking to the newbie who doesn't know much about investing. So I love what you said, Sharika, but I don't think they're ready for all of that yet. Okay, so we're gonna keep it on the basic level, and then as they graduate and start making money, then we'll get into like the more in-depth stuff. But I get what you're saying. What Sharika is saying is, it depends on the equity you want to give up. If you get private capital without equity, great. Exactly. Okay. Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Now let's say that the owner decided, and I agree with that. Absolutely. Okay. Now, if the owner decided that they wanted investors, because sometimes it actually makes more sense for the business to get investors, because an investor is not just giving you money, right? That's one thing at Sharika, right? An investor is not just here to give you money. Think about, why do people go to Shark Tank? If they wanted money, they could just go to the bank and borrow that money. Why do they go after those sharks? Because those sharks have connections, right? Those sharks have expertise. Those sharks have experiences. You picking up what I'm putting down, Sharika? So it's not always about, oh, this is costing me less and I don't want to give up equity in my business, right? Is giving up the equity in this business, is the profit potential much higher than me borrowing it? Okay, so you also want to look at that. I got real advanced real quick, but there might be some advanced business owners and investors in the room, so they get to hear that as well. So just wanted to put that in there. Okay, all right. So yes, absolutely. Okay, equity can cost. Yes, absolutely. Equity can definitely cost, but it's not about cost. It's about the investment. We don't want to look at everything as a cost. We want to look at, okay, I'm going to give this much to be able to get this much, okay, versus a loan where I don't get anybody's expertise. I'm pretty much on my own type of thing. I have to do all the work on my own versus bringing on an investor who's going to do some of the heavy lifting for me, okay? All right, all of that to say is, okay, all right, Greenhouse says, I get it. Access to what they know and who they know. Absolutely, absolutely, okay? So, yes, so going back to the story, right? So we all agree that if all was equal, if it was the best case scenario, we would want to get investors, okay? And so where do we get these investors? Well, that's where what was the point of, yes, the whole point was the investing group that I joined, okay? All right, so all of that, let's bring it all back together, okay? And so now you are now the investor who is looking to put money into this medical office, and then you get a portion of the equity that is growing, okay? All right, not the equity, I'm sorry, the profits that are growing, okay? So these are the types of investments that are available, okay, within this private investing club, okay? So all of that to say is, so I get invited to this private investing club, and that's the investing side. On the other side of things is for the financial professional. The financial professional is being trained to work with Centi-Millionaires. I'm going to repeat that, okay? So on the investor side, it's you get access to deals. You get access to deals like a medical building, like a hotel, like a whole apartment complex, right? Like a whole grocery store, like a corner store. You get to join a group of people who are all putting their money together to invest in this one project. And then you all get to share the profits. Type in a 7 if that made sense, okay? So that's on the investor side. On the professional side of this club, right, we are being taught how to find Centi-Millionaires to bring them to these opportunities, okay? I'm going to repeat that. On the professional side of this club, we are being trained on how to find Centi-Millionaire clients to bring them to the medical offices, to bring them to the hotels, to bring them to the shopping plaza deals. Type in an 8 if that made sense, okay? And so because I'm a financial professional, I am taught to go after the Centi-Millionaire, okay? And so with that, there is a lot of information in this club available, okay, to about the Centi-Millionaire. And you know what the number one thing I learned about the Centi-Millionaire? Number one, okay, this is not the number one thing, but here's a little thing I learned. They're a lot easier to do business with than the millionaire, than the person who only has 7 or 8 figures only, right? Look at that. Y'all hear me? I said only 7 figures. Who this? This is what being in a room with Centi-Millionaires will do to you, right? Oh, they only have seven figures. Kat, what do you mean only? Look at that. The shift already happened, right? They're a lot easier to do business with than someone who's making 6 figures. They're a lot easier to do business with than someone who's making 8 figures or 9 figures or even $50 million. Okay. Why do you, well, you know what? That's the whole conversation. I would ask you, why do you think that is? But maybe you can answer it in the chat, but that's the whole conversation. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. So if you are a business owner and you've been thinking about working with ultra high net worth individuals, Centi-Millionaires and higher, they're a lot easier to do business with than anybody else. Okay. And there's a whole psychology behind that, but we'll talk about that in another live. Okay. But the number one thing I observed is that they all have a personal brand. I'm going to repeat that. They all have a personal brand. What do I mean by that? They have one parent company, one parent brand. Okay, one big brand that has multiple different businesses under it. What do I mean? For example, Virgin Mobile. Okay, you guys heard of Virgin? Type in a 6 in the chat if you've ever heard of the Virgin, whether it was Virgin Mobile, whether it was the Virgin Cruise Lines, or what Virgin Voyagers, I think it's called, or the Virgin Airlines, right? Anybody ever heard of that? Okay. All right, so I got a couple of 6s, right? So that, what's his name? Branson, right? Last name Branson. He owns a mobile company, like a phone company, right? Completely different from a cruise line, right? I guess you could say the airline and the cruise lines are similar. They're both in hospitality, but they're all different brands, different ways of making money, okay? When you look at giants like Apple, for example, Apple owns multiple different tech companies. Type in a 7 if you're with me, right? We all know the Apple brand, but Apple, do you know how many smaller companies that Apple owns? Think of Google, right? You think of Alphabet. Alphabet is the parent company. And Alphabet owns YouTube, Alphabet owns Google, and so many other brands. Facebook, for example, Facebook owns a WhatsApp, Facebook owns Instagram, but Kat, they bought all of those. That's okay. It's okay to buy them out. But you know, this one parent company, this one brand that's got multiple businesses under it, okay? This one brand that's got multiple businesses under it, multiple ways of making money under one main business. Type in a 7 if that makes sense, okay? That is the number one thing. Why? Because everyone recognizes the brand. Everyone has a loyalty to the brand. And so whatever, if Apple decides, Apple started out as MacBooks. That's what they were known for, or that's what I knew them for, right? Growing up, I knew MacBooks. You know, if you had a MacBook, you were cool. And then they came out with the phone. Okay, all right. No, they came out with the iPod. Remember the iPods, right? I forgot about iPods. They had the little minis with the different colors. And then they had like the headphones, and they would have like the dancing, and you had your little iPod. Remember that, right? And then they switch over to phones. Okay, yeah, cool. And then they had the iPad, and now they're working on VR, virtual headsets. You recognize Apple as the brand. It doesn't matter what Apple is selling you. You're going to buy it because you love the brand. You have a loyalty. You know, like, and trust the brand. And so no matter what the brand gives you as an opportunity to buy from them, you're going to eat it all up. Type in an 8 if you're with me, okay? And so what does that mean to you? I had a conversation with a young lady today who's made $1 million in the near past, okay? She's made $1 million, but she wasn't happy about how she made it. And we had this conversation, because she was helping me with a few things. And she said, you know what? I read this book once, and this book told me that I should always be reinvesting back into my business. And I've never had anybody tell me that you can also invest into other assets. Okay, yes, you can separate them, but what's wrong with buying a building under your business? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with investing in a medical facility, in a medical plaza, or in a medical office under your business? What's wrong with buying a grocery store under your business? If you are ready, for example, my business right now, I teach women how to manage their money, right? How to basically, if we take all the fanciness out, I teach you how to manage and grow your money. That's basically what I do, right? That's one service. I could also have a grocery store that's under Sawa Sawa, and it's called Sawa Sawa Grocery Store. But you already know Sawa Sawa. Okay, you already associate Sawa Sawa with Katiana. You associate Katiana with being someone who is big into the Haitian community, who is passionate about elevating the Haitian community, the Black community, who is passionate about bringing back wealth to people that look like her. And so you're going to go shop at her grocery store because you love her mission. Type in an 8 if you're with me. Type in a 0 if I lost you. It doesn't matter if the grocery store has nothing to do with finances. Some of you are probably thinking, well, that has nothing to do with my business. That's not what people are concerned about. They're concerned about your brand. They know, like, and trust your brand. And so remember, why do people buy? People buy because they see a solution to their problem. And so who do they buy from? They buy from the people that they know, like, and trust. And so if you're presenting a solution to a problem, and I already know you, and I already like you, and I already trust you, best believe I'm going to buy everything I can from you. If I decide to bring my jewelry line back, I'm actually doing that. Sawa Sawa Jewelry. Buy jewelry treasures from around the world. You know that Katiana, the owner of Sawa Sawa, is synonymous with empowering the community. And so you know buying these jewelry somehow is connecting to empowering the community. And so I'm going to buy this jewelry because I know Katiana and I like her and I trust her. And so the number one lesson that I've learned from Centi-Millionaires, right, is to have one main brand and have multiple sources of revenue under that one main brand. No, not have multiple different puddles of revenue. That's not what I'm talking about. Right? We're talking streams. We're talking about having multiple different $1 million businesses under one big business. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the number one thing I learned from being in the room with 100 millionaires. Any questions, comments, observations? Okay. So that is my lesson for today. All right. Those of you who are like, Kat, you know what? I love what you said about, investing in medical buildings, investing into shopping plazas, investing into international real estate. I want to learn more, right? You were speaking to me earlier. I have all this money. I make all this money, but I'm embarrassed to say that I don't even know what to do with it. I'm embarrassed to say that I have this money and it's just sitting in the bank and I'm just tempted to spend it. Or maybe it's not sitting in the bank because you just don't know what to do with it. So you just DoorDash it away, or you just Amazon it away, or you just shop it away, and you just give it to your family and overgive here, lend people money here, send money to Haiti, buy this expensive thing, spoil my kids, right? Because I don't know what else to do with the money, but spend it. If that is you, I invite you to book a free strategy session with me, okay? And I make these free. And I know that a lot of people are probably like, oh yeah, free. She's probably going to try to sell me something, okay? Number one, I don't try to sell anything. I sell, okay? I don't try to sell anything. It's either that you have a problem and I have a solution to it and there will be a proper exchange of energy, or maybe it's just not a good fit, okay? And so you want to come on these calls to gain clarity. Once you get the clarity of, Kat, this is my situation and this is what I actually want. How do I make that happen? That's what we're going to work on the call. So go ahead and click on the link. Actually, I just realized that's only on YouTube. So I'm going to put the link here. Okay, so go ahead and click on the link to book your strategy session, and then we will talk about it. Now, if while we're on the strategy session, you say, you know what, Kat, I love this. I absolutely love this. I need your help holding my hand through this, okay? Hey, Patrice. Hey, Queen, right? I need your help holding my hand through this. Go ahead, and then at that point, it would make sense for us to work together, right? Because I got all of the help that you need. I've got all the resources. I have access to these deals. Okay, Kat, buying a medical building, investing in international real estate, investing in syndication deals, these sound amazing, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm ready for that, but I want to get ready for that. This strategy session is for you, right? You may not be ready for that now, but the goal is to get you ready. Let's get you to that $5 million net worth. Once you do 5, then we get you to 10, then we get you to 30. And next thing you know, you have $100 million. Okay. All right, everyone, that's my time. Let's see. Any questions? Let me scroll up in the chat. Okay. Carmel says, I would think it's a good strategy not to pull out your eggs in one basket. When one industry goes down, you have another profitable one. Yes, queen. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't even say that. But yes, you're right. Absolutely. When you have one business, one main business, right? And maybe sales are slow. Maybe there's 1 year something happens. I mean, guys, think about all the businesses that had to shut down during the pandemic, right? I even look at Haiti. In 2020, 2021, and most of 2022, I had a lot of clients who lived in Haiti. Okay, who lived in Haiti. And now look at everything that's happening in Haiti, and their businesses went under. And they didn't have the money to be able to invest with the strategies that I was showing anymore. And so I had to shift over to just work with people outside of Haiti, right? Okay. But at the end of the day, something can always happen that can affect your business that you cannot control. All of us who have businesses online, we got lucky during COVID because, our businesses, if anything, thrived during COVID because we were online. But imagine if you weren't online. Imagine if there's a cyber attack of some sort, something to do with the internet, an outage of some sort. Is that impossible? Well, your entire online business is offline for how many days, how many months? You never know, right? And so like Carmel says, and I'm not doing this to scare you, okay? We're not here to scare you. We're here to be realistic, and we're here to protect your wealth. Because those things take you by surprise when they take you by surprise because you're not ready for them. But when you're already ready, right? When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Okay. All right. And so like Carmel said, if I have multiple different businesses, like a grocery store, like a corner store, like a medical office, like an international property, right? When I have these different types of businesses or types of ways of bringing in money, it doesn't matter if I have a slow year or if something impacted my business that I have now. Good job. Okay. Any other questions, comments, or observations? Okay. So don't forget to book your strategy session. Okay. We are here to look at where you are now. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And we're going to create a roadmap step by step. Step 1, you need to do this. Step 2, you need to do this. Step 3, you need to do that. And you will have clarity on exactly how to get to your goal, how to get to this 5 million. Kat, how do I get to the point where I can invest in a medical office? What do I need to do to get myself ready for that? We're going to go over it on the strategy session. And then if it makes sense for me to hold your hand throughout it, or maybe enroll in one of my programs, then of course, that's a natural next step. But if you're like, Kat, I got this, I can do this, I'm going to come back when I need you again, we can do that too. Okay. All right. I don't see any questions. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.